on air is live. Oh no, you're choppy again, I think. Are you there, Dave?
Yeah, I don't know. Am I? Am I not? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Maybe we should turn down your bandwidth usage. You know, if you go to the top of your screen, there's this the 4 bars image pops down from the top, and you can click on that to adjust your bandwidth. If you set it lower, it might be more reliable.
Right. Okay. If I had any clue what you were talking about, 4 bars. Oh, sorry. You mean the Chrome options? I would assume.
No. Under in the Google Hangouts window at the top of the screen, if you move your cursor around, all these icons will pop down. The 4th one over has the bandwidth symbol.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Did you adjust it lower?
Yes. That's very low.
Okay, I can hear you just fine. You're a little pixelated, but I think that's okay.
How about now?
I can still hear you, and I can still see you.
Right. Okay, let's go with that. And if it doesn't work, I blame everyone but me. So, sounds like a good way to start, I think, with problems.
I agree. And now that we've got the problem sorted, I'm going to play my theme music, because that's a weird thing that I do.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
And that's enough of that.
Fantastic.
All right, so we have started Paul Talks. We already have people in the chats from NFI. Surprise, surprise. Because I am Paul from Paul Talks. This is my podcast live show that I do every couple of weeks with a different co-host. And today, my co-host is...
My name is David from the NFI channel. And hello, I suppose.
That is a great way to introduce yourself. That really sets the tone for it.
It sets a tone for speaking with me anyway. I just sarcasm. Anyway, so I'm quite interested to see the chat because I can't actually see it myself. So that's
Oh, well, then I will tell you that in the chat we are joined by Corolla T, who says that she's here, and then Alex Bragdon, who says that we're all under arrest.
Oh, good again.
Why are we under arrest? Is that a running gag?
Not from me.
Alex, what does that mean?
We're on some sort of delay, are we, by the way? So we
are on a delay. It's going to be probably about 60 seconds, I'm guessing.
Oh, good. So I can insult him and then just see what happens.
Exactly. So, I know you, Dave, because I discovered the NFI channel a ways back. I can't remember if it was Pat who who gave me the breadcrumbs to lead to the NFI channel, or if it was Corolla T. I'm pretty sure it was one of them. And then I started watching, and then not too very long ago, I got invited to join in occasionally, and it's been delightful. And then recently, I wanted to reboot my live show series, doing this again with more people and kind of like diversifying it farther. Previously, I had mostly guest hosts who were teen girls, young adult women, and I thought, we need to have more voices on this channel. So I'm bringing in more voices.
Yeah, I am not a young woman. Just for anyone who wasn't briefly aware of that. At least I don't believe I am.
Well, you would know. Sure. Nobody else would know.
Yeah, about that. Anyway, I would imagine that Alex would have something to say. Yeah.
Alex says, Paul, you're under arrest for not wearing that wreath behind you as a hat. That wreath, other side, that wreath is prickly. That would hurt. I don't want to wear that as a hat.
No, don't do that. This thing's going to be unpleasant enough without pain.
I don't think it's going to be unpleasant at all. I think it's going to be just fine. So I have not really known you, Dave, for very long, and we haven't interacted too much. But I do know of you as kind of like one of the two heads of NFI, managerial heads of NFI, you and Pat, co-running it.
Yes.
Now, were you there from the very beginning? Did you start NFI?
Yes, I was one of, I believe there was 6 of us to start with who came up. I came up with the idea of a channel and then just advertised a few different places on the Nerdfighters Ning predominantly, some Facebook groups. People came forward and then we launched the channel together, and it's been running for 2 years now, I think.
Just 2 years? That's not very old, actually. I thought it was longer than that.
No, it was October 2013. So yeah, just over 2 years. And Pat herself's been with it since November of that year, so she's been here near enough near the beginning.
Who else are the old timers? That is the people who've been here on NFI for the longest. By the way, the link to the NFI channel is in the description of this live stream and later on of this video.
Yeah, right. I don't really know if you'll know many of them, to be honest. There's not many around who started the channel. You might have seen Elliot George Edwards kicking about. He's a good friend of Corolla's.
Yes, half of ET. Yes.
Yep, one of the most deplorable things on the internet at this moment in time. There was some others. There was a Canadian called Andrew, a British kid called Niall, he's also on the Vlogalog collaboration channel. Don't know if you've seen that, or he used to be. I think they're on a hiatus again. Alex Bregdon was part of it for a while before IRL got in the way, as usual. So, and to be honest, I've lost track of the people who've come through NFI since then. Pat keeps recruiting people. I don't know anybody. So I feel a bit out of the loop.
Well, I mean, it's got to be kind of like a parental feeling where you see your kid grow up and and go to places and do things that you weren't expecting.
Yeah, I suppose it's more like looking at my child and thinking, "Who the hell are you? And how did you get in my house?"
That happens to kids as well, so that still fits. It still fits the analogy.
Okay.
Corolla responds to your comments about Elliot with "good friend?" ? That get ? Ew.
Oh yeah, I can see that, and I do apologize, Corolla, for slighting you like that.
All of you on NFI are very fond of your sarcasm.
Yeah, it's become kind of a meme, I guess, or kind of I don't know how to describe it. It's become one of the staple things of NFI, I think. Which is
sarcastic.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know stereotype here, but it is the British wit tends to be very dry and sarcastic. Especially if you ever saw Niall's videos, he's a lot more sarcastic than I am, even. So
what? I didn't know that was possible. That's amazing. I don't know if I've seen Niall's videos. With collab channels, unless I kind of go from their collaborative submission to their private channel or their personal channel and then start following their own videos, I tend not to remember all the people who are on collab channels.
Right. I don't blame you, considering there's about 40 to 50 people on NFI. To keep track of them all would
Holy moly.
Yeah, I know. I got up to about 27, 30, and then Pat went on a one-woman mission to recruit everyone in the world, I think.
Yeah, I think she was collecting names and contact info at VidCon this year specifically for that purpose, and she has succeeded.
Yeah, I was very surprised. It's not like we planned this. She just told me she was going to do it. And I was like, okay, let's see how that doesn't work. But it did. Now I feel stupid.
Well, do you have any idea if how NFI stacks up compared to other collab channels in terms of number of members? Like, is the 40 or so people that you have nominally on board, does that make you the largest collab channel on YouTube?
I don't think so, because there was one of our members called Sam who doesn't really appear anymore either. He was part of some kind of chronicle based channel where one person would kind of post every day. So there was like 300 members. So I think that was a lot bigger than ours. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, I'm obviously displaying my somewhat newbie status on YouTube. I've only been YouTubing itself for about 2.5 years, so I'm my vlog age is about the same as NFI.
Same as mine, really. I've been on YouTube about 7 or 8 years, but I've only vlogged in the last sort of 3, so I'm not exactly clued up on this either, as you can probably have my videos ever created.
I don't know. Your videos are good. Yeah, your videos are good. They're a nice stable piece of the NFI foundation. It's always nice to see your face again on the channel.
Yeah, I'll admit it doesn't happen as often as I'd like it to, but obviously between being busy and Pat just filling it with weird people who I don't know, it just doesn't really work very often. Except I've wound up with Christmas Day, which has come to some sort of tradition.
Oh, you were always the person who posted
Christmas, actually. Yes, well, at least for the last 2 years I have. Although I have cheated and filmed them a week before, but that's besides the point.
That doesn't matter. I'll usually film my submissions for NFI 2 or 3 days in advance. Nothing wrong with that.
No, that's not too bad. I mean, I think the worst I've had is someone send me a video 6 weeks in advance. That was probably the record.
Wow.
And it was a really good vlog as well, and I had to follow it, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna ramble. It's gonna be easier.
That is kind of like the danger and the thrill of a collab channel. You have to end up comparing yourself to the person before you and after you.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt Palka joins us in the chats, and Scozio. Hi, Matt and Scozio.
Fantastic. Welcome both. Even though I don't like Matt Palka either, but it doesn't matter.
Corolla says Dave is baby Jesus, always on Christmas.
I think comparing Ginger to Jesus is quite offensive to nearly every major religion, so I'd maybe not do that.
Is there a Christian stance on redheaded people?
Do some research into that, because if there is, I'm doomed.
Yeah. We're also joined by Eyes Like a Cat. Hi, Eyes Like a Cat.
You have eyes remarkably not like a cat, so therefore your name is a lie.
I think that maybe...
I can actually see that.
Yeah. Alex says that he usually films his 2 or 3 days after. So what got you into YouTubing, Dave?
It's a pretty boring story, but basically I've watched vlogs for several years, and obviously I watched Charlie So Cool like come up to be this staple vlogger basically. And I was thinking, I think anybody could do that. If some kid can make a video about a cup of tea and get famous, maybe anything's possible. But then, of course, back then I ran the NerdFightersInfo and updates based on this. Why not make videos about that? And that's why I set up NerdFightersInfo to begin with, or NFI for sure. But then we never did anything about it. Just kind of created it and left it. Then this whole collab idea came up a year later, and the channel was there. So I can't bother creating a new one. Let's just use that.
I think that's fine. I mean, the
thing we know today.
I've seen worse named collab channels than this. At least this one, the implied association with Nerd Fighters is a positive one, so that's not bad.
True. No, I mean obviously it's a very literal name because it was supposed to be info for Nerd Fighters originally, but then obviously Nerd Fighters info is quite it's almost like you get a bit tongue tied sometimes. So NFI just kind of rolls off the tongue a bit better. A lot better for merchandising too. Not that I keep merchandising yet. I'm hoping I can sell everybody a thing and then just make some money back that way, but I don't think it works like that.
Have you had to invest any money in NFI?
I've invested overall about £800, I think, into the channel. In the
wow. May I ask how that broke down?
No, it's strange. Yeah, well, firstly, I bought a camera in order to actually make the videos.
Okay, well, a camera takes a couple £100.
A few hundred.
Yeah.
And then I went through this. Yes. Then I went through a phase of sending everybody who appeared on the collaboration channel some kind of DFTBA merch, and obviously that ran up into about £450 over 3 months.
Wow.
I think I went a bit crazy there for a while. Hey, it's me DFTBA pocket, so why did I do it? I don't know. I've spent money on props before and never used them. So I had quite a big dream for it. I don't know. I like to do sketches and things, and it just never works out because I realized I'm very funny. So it doesn't really work human level.
Yeah, I find that I am not
Oh.
very funny when it comes to scripting out things like sketches.
Mm.
If I am funny at all, it tends to be that I am funny in response to somebody else. If somebody can play like the straight
Right.
man in a routine for me, then I can usually like make a joke against them, and it can be pretty funny. But scripting it out in advance, that's this kind of skill for humor that I don't have.
Oh, me neither. I don't really plan anything, I'll be honest.
I don't plan a lot. I seem to plan a
As you
lot
were.
because I talk a big game, but everything
No.
tends to be very last minute, seat of the pants for me. I'll plan things out maybe a week or so in advance, if that. My exception is when my exception is scheduling my co-hosts for this series of podcasts because I want to make sure that I have actually somebody in line, and also people ask in advance. People ask a lot, so that's great for me. I'm going to point out, I think that your audio is getting a little choppy, so you may want to turn down your bandwidth a little bit.
I can do. And yeah, done.
All right. Now I can hear your whole sentence without hearing gaps in the middle of it.
Oh no, that was on purpose.
If it was to gaslight me, then you did a good job. I was convinced.
Sure, let's go with that.
Matt Palka says that my Amber and Stuff impression was hilarious. Thank you, Matt. That was, again, kind of on the fly. I just, in less than 24 hours, I want to say in less than 5 or 6 hours, I decided that I wanted to do an impression of my friend Amber and Stuff on YouTube because she was getting down about doing beta. And so I just tried to like come up with a way of doing an impression of her, of acting like how she acts in a video. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't really planned out. But people, and I was afraid it was stupid. I was afraid that people were going to laugh at me for being ridiculous, not with me for my impression. But it turned out to get a pretty good response, actually. People gave me good feedback on it.
Fantastic. I think it's always better when you don't plan funny things because the more you think about things generally, the less funny in your own mind they become. Maybe that's something I've just found, but I think on the fly is better. That's how I film all my vlogs. I never plan. I just stand in front of a camera and just spew words, essentially.
I would say more than 90% of my vlogs are also very off-the-cuff, spur-of-the-moment vlogs. I think about them. I will vlog about topics that I've been thinking about, for example, all day. Like I've gone through my workday building up a head of steam over some topic because I'm angry about an issue. But I won't actually script anything out. I'll just have some ideas in my mind about certain points that I want to hit during the show. And then I will stand in front of a camera, turn it on, talk for about 25 minutes, mostly garbage, and then try to get it down to about a 5-minute video.
That's pretty much the same process I go through, except there's even less thought involved. Generally, it's like I'll look at the sort of NFI is a good example. At least if I've got a subject there, I can just stare at the wall for 2 minutes, think of something to say, turn the camera on. That's it. There's not a lot of thought. Maybe I used to not have a lot of time to vlog, but then I started getting more time and found that planning things, I just enjoyed the videos far less. So I just went back to the old way of doing things. So.
Yeah, the only thing that I try to be aware of as I'm doing these videos off the cuff is that I want to do no harm. I want to do no harm in the videos that I make. And once upon a time, I was a lot less attentive to things like social issues, marginalization, and I would say stuff that was wildly inappropriate. That was before my YouTube days. By the time I started getting into YouTube, I was already starting to pay attention to social justice concepts, social issues. But before YouTube, I was a mess. Like I'm glad that nobody recorded some of the stuff that I said back then because I would not want to be held accountable for today.
I'm the same, but mine's the other way around. It's usually on camera. I tend to say the stupider things and then look back during editing and think, I can't get away with that. So that's why sometimes you get these really stupid jump cuts in the middle of a video that don't make a lot of sense. But I thought, oh, well, I can't bother to refilm. It's 2:30 in the morning. Just go with it. Because I try not to offend anybody, but it's pretty impossible not to offend some people. So you kind of have to start worrying about it to an extent.
I don't know that that's true. A lot of people will say that, particularly comedians will say that it's impossible not to offend somebody. I think that's really a way of changing how you think about such things. Like for example, most everybody I know, even the people who are not particularly interested in social issues, would never say the N-word, the slur against black people. They just won't say it. You know, even if they were led down a path towards where they might be set up to say that, or like if they're singing along to a song, they have taught themselves, this is not a word that I will say, because they are decent human beings who don't want to use a really horrible slur. That mindset can be expanded. I mean, you can have that same mindset about lots of things, because we have very complex brains that are capable of lots of stuff, but we just never had to before like the age of Tumblr, essentially. And so now I will go on to Twitter or Tumblr or Facebook or whatever, and I will learn things. And I've just taught myself, okay, this is a thing that I didn't know before, but now I know that I should be respectful of it. So I'm going to put that in the same category of stuff that I'm going to avoid, just like that N-word. And I'm not saying that it's easy. I will stumble a couple of times every now and then, especially during these live shows. I will still say things not quite the way I want to say them if I were to think about it longer. But if you get into the practice of it, just like everything else, if you practice not saying those things that are bad, you really can avoid saying the things that would offend people. I haven't been. Let me think here. I think it's been about a year. I think it's been about a year since someone posted in response to one of my vlogs saying that I had been, inadvertently slurring or inadvertently oppressing, being marginalizing of somebody. Yeah. And at that time, I learned about some ableist terms, which I didn't realize I was using, and I stopped using them. Easy.
Right. No, I respect that. I mean, do you think there comes a point, though, where nearly everything becomes some form of ableist comment? And you think maybe, I won't use the term political correctness because it's rubbish.
Yeah, it's bollocks.
It's just being called being a decent human. But
yeah,
I think there's maybe some levels they reach that is bordering on the ridiculous. I can't think of examples really without going into too much detail. But just sometimes you think, really? Because some words, obviously, in the last 10 years, the meanings have changed completely. So 10 years ago, you could use a word just fine, whereas now, not so much.
Sure. But that could but I think back to my own childhood, and growing up through the 80s and into the 90s, I would very frequently hear my peers use the R word for mentally disabled people, right. And they would use it casually and as an insult, and they would be mean with it, but they weren't trying to be slurring with it, but they were trying to be mean with it. And I didn't really think of it as something that I should protest until I got probably like into my college years. And then I realized just how harmful it is, really. And it had been harmful that entire time. I hadn't realized it. It hadn't harmed me, but I learned that there was a history of like societal and systemic harm against mentally handicapped people through that word, through the use of that slur. So I cut it out of my vocabulary. Now, it is certainly possible that someone could say, Paul, if you were to call somebody a cotton-headed nitty-muggins, that is a horrible slur against all of the elves of the North Pole. And they could come to me and they could say that. That would be ridiculous because there are no elves in the North Pole. That's that you know of. That is that I know of. Yeah. Now, should some elves come forth from the North Pole and say, hey, we've been quiet about this for the past couple of decades, but really that C-headed N-word that you're using to describe people is highly offensive to us elves of the North Pole. If that were to actually happen, I would stop using that phrase. That's simple. Yeah, it's great. I mean, I've never heard that phrase before, so I don't feel I'm going to offend too many people with it, but you're right in what you say. Yeah, that's actually it's a phrase from the Christmas movie Elf, starring Will Ferrell and directed by Jon Favreau. Yeah, I know that particular film. Not a huge fan, I have to say. That's fine, but I wanted to use it as an example because I thought it was such a ridiculous phrase that nobody could be literally offended by it. Yeah, but if someone were to like point out that it really was directed at a marginalized people, I mean that's the thing that I'm going to pay attention to. Yeah, of course. Like I live in the Washington D.C. area, and our National Football League team name is horrible. We should change the name of our NFL team name immediately. We should have changed it like 20 years ago. We still haven't changed it. I'm ashamed of it. I never say it.
Right. I was going to say, I don't know which team that is, being English, but is it something you can't bring yourself to say?
Yeah, it's a slur talking about the color of the skin of a Native American Indian.
Oh, red. I got it. Yeah.
Yes.
I know. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I have heard of that. That's terrible. Yeah. I mean, for me, I suppose, like growing up, compared to you, I was sheltered in a way from a lot of issues because where I grew up is just a very large housing estate in a large city in the northeast of England, and there's not a very diverse population here. It tends to be, just suppose you call them just white and British. That's it. You didn't get an awful lot of nationalities. It's only, I think, the last 5 years I've started to really sort of branch out and realize just how diverse the world is. NerdFightersInfo actually helped quite a lot with that, I think.
Yeah, and as Asante pointed out, NerdFightersInfo isn't even all that diverse, really.
No.
But I mean, it's better than your own little suburban area that's all the same type of people. The United States is really bad about grouping into cliques of people and then basically acting like everybody else is lesser than. But I'm assuming that the UK is probably similarly bad considering its very long history of imperialism.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. In the chats, Eyes Like a Cat says, it does annoy me that some people say words like stupid is ableist, mainly because it isn't focused on anyone in particular, but then they tend to use the phrase deaf and blind to mean stupid, so I don't even know. Yeah, certainly I have stopped using metaphors that use the words for disabled people like deaf and blind. I've stopped using those as metaphors for things. Like I won't say like I was struck blind by their beauty, or I'm not sure how I'd use deaf, but something like that. I don't use those phrases, those metaphors anymore, because they are minimizing of the fact that disabled people have to live through significant obstacles in their life that most of the systems that we live in are not designed to let them live very well. It's 2015. Yeah. Everything should be accessible for people who are deaf and people who are blind, and yet a lot of that accessibility isn't there. So I'm not going to diminish their struggles by using it as a casual throwaway phrase. And that's something, again, right. I've only come to making that change in my approach to metaphors in the last couple of years. That's a very recent change for me, but it's something that I find important.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's pretty good. It's just, I don't know, I think it's because it's just so ingrained in our culture to be that way, to say, like you say, struck blind, or to say someone, are you blind if they can't see something in front of them?
That's another one, yeah.
Quite a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just,
so you go on.
I was going to say, it's just going to take a lot of work to change that. I think it's not something we're going to see in the next 10 years, I shouldn't think, because we're a bit slow on progress in society, and it's a bit sad.
Well, you say that, but I think the progression of society keeps changing faster. The progression of it's accelerating in its change. From the 70s to the 80s, there weren't a lot of social changes. From the 80s to the 90s, we might have actually gone backwards a little bit. And then from the 90s into the 2000s, again, a little bit of social change. But with the advent of social media networks on the internet, all of a sudden, I'm able to see perspectives from people in Australia, from people in China, from people in Brazil, and people in the United States where I just haven't been, or marginalized people that are right next door to me. I'm able to see all of their perspectives right in front of me without having to travel at all, because of this wondrous thing called the internet. And it's made my personal changes happen much, much faster. I'm a far different person than I was, say, 2 to 3 years ago, far more different than I was that person to the person before 10 years before. So I've changed a lot faster recently. We might very well see huge social changes in the next couple of years. I mean, in the United States, all we need to do is select a president who is unheard of, like a socialist. And that'll be a momentous that'll be historically momentous. That'll be remarkable if something like that happens.
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic. I mean, I can't speak for the rest of the world, but particularly the UK, I think we will have a genuine problem in going forward because we've never been the most progressive people in the world, as you may have noticed. But the problem is we still have a lot of people in power who you basically still find in power 50 years ago. They've got these sort of outdated principles, outdated ideas, and it's just things aren't going to change when the wrong people are in power. So.
Well, I remember that your election not too many months ago, so many of my liberal UK friends on the internet were just astonished at how the votes turned out. They thought that there would be a far more liberal turning out of votes than actually happened. And it's because, as Corolla just points out here in the chats, social media only really changes those who use them, and lots of people still don't. I think in the UK, a lot of younger people did not realize how small a portion of the population they were. Being open-minded, being socially, liberally progressive. But then the votes happened, and they were forced to realize, hey, we are not the majority.
Yeah, exactly. I was shocked, especially how there was one particular party I really don't want to name, but they're called the UK Independence Party, and they're basically essentially glorified, racists, essentially. There's no other way of saying it.
The racist party of UK, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, they're not the most racist, but they're like second most racist. Yeah, exactly. It says a lot, doesn't it? There was another called the BNP, and they were even more radical. And they just
I hadn't heard about them.
Yeah, they wanted to wall off the UK and just make it everyone who's white you can trace a lineage back 10 generations. That's sort of really bad. I'm glad they've kind of vanished. Well, there's a small minority of them still, but unfortunately, UKIP do have a lot of seats in Parliament and still get a lot of support, even though they're just horrible. Yeah.
We're also joined in the chat by Star Pasta. Hi, Star Pasta. I always love your username. It's so fun.
Yes.
Corolla grinned at my use of liberal UK friends. What? They are. They are. Let's see here. Matt Palka says the truth of people's reality is more accessible with social media. The change really is the struggle between tradition and being open-minded to change. You're always bringing the truth bombs, Matt, and that is no exception. It's one of the reasons why my reflex is always to reject tradition. Like if I hear of a thing and I know that I hear that it's traditional, my immediate reflexive action is, then I don't like it. What are the details?
Yeah, I can get you. This is not really a fantastic example, but obviously you guys over in the US are very familiar with a thing called Black Friday.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. Well, the retailers over here tried to implement it, and last year there were some horrendous things happen. And this year we seem to have rejected it completely because we saw a record low turnout for these so-called mega sales of completely pointless stuff.
Good.
The shops just... Yeah, I don't understand even why we did it, other than the fact, obviously, companies like to make money. And we've got a very large supermarket chain here called Asda, which are owned by your Walmart. And I think they were instrumental in bringing it across. Yes. Part of the Walmart family, it says proudly outside of every building. So.
I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Wow.
I forgive you, I guess.
Yeah, of all the things that we could export from the United States to the UK, I am so sorry that Black Friday made it over there. And obviously it's because of the influence of capitalistic corporations making literally millions, if not billions of dollars. A huge portion of their entire year's income happens on Black Friday. So that marketing model is very appealing to any capitalistic big business in the UK. I understand why it happened, but it sucks that it did.
It does. I mean, I do blame Asda/Walmart, but I think Amazon has a lot to do with it as well. I'm not actually sure what Cyber Monday is. I don't know what that relates to Black Friday, but I'm assuming that's going to fail over here as well tomorrow. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just to very quickly sum up. Black Friday is the idea is that the day after our American Thanksgiving, which is always on a Thursday, so the day after that, people are not going back to work. in their non-retail positions. So retail stores will have sales to take advantage of the fact that people who are normally not available to go shopping can go shopping on this one day. But then a lot of people who are not physically able to, or do not particularly want to go out into the crowds that happen on Thursdays, on Friday. So online retailers, mostly headlined by Amazon, came up with Cyber Monday, where they would have a very similar type of sale situation, but it would be online on Monday, just to be like a mirror reflection of the Friday before. But it's entirely a made up thing because there's no restriction against it. You can go online and shop any day of any week. There's no reason for it to be a Cyber Monday.
No, it just so happens. Yeah, it's just a retail designation, basically. And considering I've worked in retail for the past 8 years, nothing surprises me anymore.
Corolla says that liberals in the UK are kind of conservative. Really?
Yes. I will agree with that 100%. I mean, I don't know if that's an observation she made when she came over here or whether it's just something she's seen over sort of an extended period of time. But yeah, a lot of people don't even realize it. They think they're liberal, which is a great thing, and yet you compare them to someone who's actually liberal, and they look very conservative.
Well,
so that's why I think we're going to struggle, for progress in the next 10 years. I hope we don't. I'd like to be proved wrong on that, but I don't think it's going to work. So,
well, maybe when the teens who are on Tumblr, Twitter, and YouTube from the UK today, when they get into voting age, maybe they will start being a wave of progress forward beyond today's liberals.
I would hope so, but there's also a growing trend among our youth as well that voting doesn't matter.
I call that the Russell Brand effect. It's like the thing that I'm maddest at him about.
Don't even mention that. Creep. I cannot stand him. I'm glad he's over there with you. You can keep him. We don't want him back.
You're not the first person from the UK to tell me that. We are also joined in the chat by 24 Hours a Year, Josh. Hello. Who says it is possible that the UK result is because of smaller parties getting more screen time. So those who would have voted Labour or the Lib Dems ended up voting Green or SNP.
Yes.
But Josh voted Plaid. Oh, that's a Welsh word. I can't pronounce that.
Let's have a look. I doubt I'll.
CYMRU.
Okay, I'm not going to attempt that. I'll offend someone.
Josh, if you can type out phonetically how I'm supposed to pronounce that, I will try to pronounce that.
Or in fact, you know what? Even appear on NFI at some point and actually instruct us on how to say that. That would be great.
That would be cool. I was actually just talking earlier today on on YouTube about how Zainab has learned many languages, and so she should try to do some videos where she talks about fun phrases from other languages, and she just tells us how to pronounce them. That would be also a cool thing for people at NFI who speak other languages to do besides English. That would be great. Yeah,
especially there is quite a few languages on NFI. Actually, thinking about it, German I think is quite prevalent.
There's a lot of German on NFI.
Yeah, there is, and I've met two of them, and they're both scary in very different ways.
Corolla, terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, I've told these stories many times, and I talk to my friends who I've known since I was 4, and they still know her as a crazy, scary cookie lady. So. Because I told the story, she met a whole bunch of nerd fighters she'd never met or even talked to before, and she was forcing them to eat 3 boxes worth of cookies. And we weren't allowed to leave until it was consumed. So
I think that she has sent me images of cookies and tried to tell me to eat cookies as well. That's a thing for her.
Yeah, it's still pretty scary.
Eyes Like a Cat says that we have Black Friday in Canada too, but our Thanksgiving is in October, so it's pretty messed up. That's so weird. That's so weird, Canada. Come on.
Yeah, I'm sure I saw a video about that recently, about how the Canadian Day of Thanks is very different to the American, because obviously it's not based on the same origin. And I honestly can't remember when that was. I don't know if it was a Nathan and Rose video, actually, if you know who Nathan and Rose are.
I do know who they are. I kind of I know them best from there's a thing where they had problems with their YouTube channel. Is that right?
Yes, they were attacked by the KKK. That was an interesting time.
Holy crap! So yeah, I know them from that. A horrible reason to know them, but I know them from that.
Yeah, to be honest, that actually did a lot of good for them in a strange way, because obviously they had that AdSense account blocked because of, I think it's called a cyber click attack or something. So obviously the same address is constantly clicking on the ads. You get flagged, you get banned. But then the campaign to get them unbanned just kind of like blew up. People like Liam Dryden were shouting out about it on Tumblr, and I managed to get an email off to Hank Green, who looked into it, or somebody related to Hank Green looked into it. I don't know what happened. They talked to someone at YouTube and got it unbanned, so I was quite impressed with that.
That's cool. That's good. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's the silver lining to that. I still wouldn't wish that on anybody that they had to go through that.
No.
But I'm glad that it turned out to have positive repercussions. Star Pasta asks, what's the Russell Brand effect with voting? Well, I only know about this, again, as somebody from across the pond watching some of the stuff that's going on. But Russell Brand would tell people that as a way of doing a revolution in the UK to just not vote, to reject voting. That's why I call it the Russell Brand effect.
Yeah, that is pretty accurate. Yeah. It's almost like what was also said about the smaller parties is also very true, because some of the parties like the Green Party and the Scottish National Party were getting a lot of votes, and obviously the Conservatives just ran away with it, which is terrible news, really. I
mean, that's something that the United States, people in the United States are often afraid of when they come to voting. They may prefer a candidate from the Green Party or from the Libertarian Party or from some other party, but they're afraid that their vote for that party will end up hurting the lesser of two evil big parties. So they'll just vote for the lesser of two evil big party candidates instead in order to make their vote count for something, which is awful. I think it's Australia that has like a multiple preferences vote system, so that you can vote for your first preference, your second preference, your third preference, etc. And each of your preferences potentially has an effect on the overall voting. It is a methodology that I really, really like, and I wish that other places would also use. But entrenched systems are so hard to overcome. They're so hard to overcome.
Especially over as somewhere as old as the UK. Like obviously, I kind of had my eyes open just to how young your country is when a friend of mine from NFI actually came over here for a month, and I toured around England with him for about 2 weeks. And he was saying, like, we have buildings older than your country. Like, obviously, your modern country. There were people there before the modern Americans were there.
Yes.
But it's insane to think that we've got buildings that are hundreds and hundreds of years old. And it kind of reflects our society, really.
You've got buildings that are hundreds and hundreds of years old, and ideas, too.
Yes, exactly. Not a good tagline when you're trying to bring people into the country.
Yeah. Okay, so 24 hours a year said the way to pronounce that is Plaid Cymru. Are you pranking me? Are you trying to make me say things I shouldn't be saying? It looks like it says Plaid Cymru.
Yeah, I know what it looks like. I just didn't want to acknowledge it.
Corolla says that there's so much lag. Why is YouTube so shy at live stream? I don't know. I don't know, Corolla.
It's not. Yeah, to be fair, it's not just YouTube. If you watch a Twitch stream, that's 45 to 60 seconds lag usually. So,
wow,
we're not exactly alone in it. I'm not sure. I know there are other. Sorry, you first.
First of all, he says that my pronunciation was damn good. Okay, great. Plaid Cymru.
Nice.
So, all right. And then also that Australian methodology of voting is called proportional representation voting. Proportional representation voting. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yes. If you want to learn more, actually thinking about it, I did watch a fantastic series done by CP Gray, is it?
CP Gray, yeah.
Entirely sure. CP Gray, yeah. They did a whole series on proportional voting as well as first past the post and showing just how bad some of these systems are. So it may be worth a look. Obviously, can't link it now. Well, I could, but I'd probably click out of this chat knowing me. So,
or it would just slow things down even further. So I don't want to risk that. But that actually does bring up a good question, which is, so what are some of the channels that you like to watch? I'm guessing that CP Gray is one of them.
Actually, no. I only discovered CP Gray, I don't know, I'd say about 6 months ago. And I just went on a binge of all his videos, and I think I watched about 100 or something. But apart from that, I've not really seen that many. My channel viewing is quite low nowadays. I try and catch, like, I don't think I've seen 50% of the NFI videos in the past 6 months.
Well, there are a lot of them.
Yeah, well, actually, as it happens, I looked at the statistics and we've just uploaded the 500th video today. So,
hooray for 500 videos, NFI.
Yeah, and only half of them are mine. Hooray. But
is that pretty accurate?
No, I think I have about 100 or something like that. Because every time we'd have a space or somebody would drop out of making a video, I just used to jump in and make complete nonsense. So, but I've stopped doing it now. Yeah. I watch. There's a PaulTalks is someone. I kind of watch him, but he's not very good.
He's hard to predict. He's erratic. He's all over the place.
He's a radical. Let's go with that.
That too. But
yeah, no, apart from Vlog Brothers, and there's a channel called Ashens, which I don't think a lot of people outside the UK will know.
Ashens, I know. I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, he's that's to best describe him. He's kind of unique. He goes to like budget retail stores, such as I call them dollar stores over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, dollar stores. Yeah, he just goes and buys the worst things and just makes fun of them in front of a camera and then sets fire to them. it's kind of yeah. Yeah, you can laugh, but that's how weird it is.
That's so weird.
Yeah, and yeah, I've watched him for about 5 years, and he's got a very dry, sarcastic humor again, as well, and that's what kind of attracted me to his videos. But apart from that, the Vlog Brothers, I don't really YouTube that much anymore. But you into that, I think.
I mean, I still YouTube a lot.
Right. Can't say I'm surprised by that, but
yeah. Well, I spend most of my work days for my day job. I am programming stuff from 9 a.m. to 6 or 7 p.m. And if I didn't have anything to distract me, I would just start bouncing off the walls with frustration from having to stare at a computer screen. So I usually have a tablet to my side playing some video, whether it's streaming from my DVR of TV shows from the previous week or watching YouTube videos, something. And so I'll try to watch, I'm going to say probably about 25 to 50% of the YouTube videos that come up in my sub feed during a business day. I don't comment on all of them because I don't have time. I don't share all of them because I don't have time. But if something stands out to me, I'll try to make sure that I go to Twitter and share it at least, if not comment as well.
Right. I just have to ask, how many subscriptions do you have? Because I don't know whether to be appalled or mesmerized by how many you watch a day.
I think it's something like 800 and something, 870-ish subscriptions.
Wow, that is quite a lot. I mean, obviously they won't upload every single day, but
yeah, I mean, I would say probably 50% of them don't upload more than once a month, if that.
Right. Okay,
and then
so it's not as impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and many of them are just they're channels that have kind of gone by the wayside. People have abandoned them or gone on extended hiatus and just are trying to come back, but haven't. I've had, from the start of my YouTubing 2.5 years ago, there are many channels where I just don't see them post videos anymore. I remember there was one YouTuber, I want to say that maybe she was Swedish, named Sanna, Sanne, not Books and Quills, the other, a different Sanna, right. Who is an artist, and she posted very artsy vlogs, but also would occasionally talk about social justice issues. And I just loved her videos. I was a huge fan of the way that she did her production, the way she spoke to the camera. And then she got busy with school and or moved months ago. Has it been a year, maybe over a year ago, and the video stopped. She still exists. She has like a Twitter, and she'll like tweet like once every couple of months something. But for the most part, she is no longer a YouTuber, and it's a little sad. It's a little sad to me. It
is. I think NFI is a pretty good example. Keep harping on about my channel, but like we've gone through 2 or 3 relaunches where we've just kind of stopped making videos for a good 3-4 weeks. Then we tried again, and it works for like 2 months, and then drops off again. And then, but ever since Pat took the reins, it's been a lot better. But a lot of people who start in NFI, they're the same way as you've described. They was really into YouTube, making videos all the time, and now barely any of them are around. I think Nathan and Rose and Pat are probably the only ones who still make videos out of 20-something people, which shows a lot, really.
Wow,
I don't even include myself in there, so.
Well, at least you have NFI to keep your hand in YouTube.
That's true. Just kind of appear now and again. I mean, I've got my own personal channel. I don't really use all that much, but I did post a video on there a few weeks ago. I think time escapes me.
In the chats, we are joined by Kat Young, Percussionism. Hi, Kat. Welcome to the show. Let's see here. Matt Paka says, even people that I shouted out in his last video, some have not uploaded in months, and he has about 350 subscriptions.
Wow.
Scozio says, I tend to get rid of larger YouTubers. It's liberating. So we've just had an admission from Scozio that he's an assassin. That's frightening.
Right. So
but, appreciated, because if you clear off the top of the YouTubers, the rest of us will go up, right?
Yeah, in a way, but I'd prefer if you didn't kill off Hank and John with a kind of instrumental towards Nerd Fight area, so that would be great if you just left them.
Kat says that she is also from Hull.
Wow, I was having this conversation the other day, actually. I've not met a single Nerd Fighter or YouTuber from Hull yet. That's always surprised me, because I've been all over social media. I've been on Nerd Fighters name. There are people from Hull on there, apparently, but I've never met one up until now.
Well, there you go. So I'm making your world a little bit smaller, introducing some more connections here.
I'm actually quite astonished that someone in your chat of all places. So,
and Kat's not new to my channel. Kat's been one of my subscribers, viewers, and commenters for a year, I think, more than a year, because I think I knew her last Christmas as well. So yeah, so more than a year now.
And Sergio said he made a video about Hull. Is there just a lot of things I've not seen? It's like I'm ignoring my home city. Fantastic. Although I tend to spend more time out of Hull these days, traveling, seeing friends. So
that's
maybe
cool.
That's why.
Maybe, but just because Kat's from Hull doesn't mean that she posts videos about it all the time. She just uploaded a video, a song cover that she's been working on for a while, which is great. And I haven't seen Scozio's video about Hull either.
Fantastic.
I do like the idea of not watching larger YouTubers, not subscribing to them to give them your numbers at least, just because there are only so many hours in a day that you can even for me, where I'm watching YouTube almost constantly every business day. Even for me, there's only so many hours in a day that I can watch videos. And the larger YouTubers don't need my eyes. They don't need my eyes. The smaller YouTubers can use every pair of eyes they can get. So I'm much happier to give them my videos than others.
True. I think it also depends on the type of large YouTuber. I mean, you can't tar them all with the same brush, so to speak. There are some that do some really good things, like the aforementioned Vlogbrothers. Then there's some people who like PewDiePie, who I think just shouldn't be on YouTube, but that's just my opinion.
I don't have a problem with PewDiePie, what he does, his gaming videos, the way he does his gaming videos, but I kind of feel like that it should be I kind of feel like gaming YouTube should be separated from the rest of YouTube. Because the type of stuff that they do and the proportion of views that they get are so wildly different from other YouTubers.
Yeah, I understand. That does make a lot of sense, because gaming's it's never been bigger. Minecraft kind of helped that. So, but I don't think I can't see it affecting too much in terms of vloggers compared to gamers, because it's two completely different things usually. Then you get PewDiePie, who just literally does yell at a screen. Maybe it's just me who just doesn't find that sort of humor funny, just yelling random obscenities at random things and pretending to actually be scared of things. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. I tried watching one of his videos, and aside from hearing his trademark PewDiePie, aside from that, I just couldn't stick around for the whole video. It was, his videos reflect the sort of person that I try to avoid in real life. I don't know why I would want to watch an entire long gaming session, let's play or whatever that he would post. But I am in the minority. Literally tens of millions of people think that that's a great thing to watch. So I'm the weirdo, not him.
Yeah, I think that makes us both weird then, because gaming channels, I just can't watch them. The only exception is maybe watching friends of mine on Twitch. I will watch that occasionally.
Yeah,
like obviously,
I think it's different if I know the YouTuber, if I know like Nelly Rose, Ellen Rose. I like her because of her comedy videos and because of her social justice videos. But if she puts up a gaming video, I'll watch that. It'll be fun. I will occasionally watch Hank Green play a video game on a video because I think that he's entertaining as a person.
Yes.
I just don't go searching out for that stuff.
No, I completely understand. I think I've only watched one Hank Green video where he plays video games, and that's only because my friend Declarations edited it. So maybe that's just favoritism.
Oh, that's capital D, capital K Declarations.
That's the one. Yeah.
Oh. I need to find them on YouTube better. I know that they exist. I've seen their comments. I need to find them on YouTube. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I suppose a stupid little connection is that Declarations is brother to a very large gaming YouTuber as well.
Oh, I did not know that.
No, Pro Jared. I'm not sure if you've heard of him. I think he's about 500,000 subs, which I guess isn't a massive number these days. But
yeah, it's weird that 500,000 is not a big number in the gaming arena of YouTube, but it's weirdly not. No. It's far more than I'll probably ever see, but it's weirdly not that big of a number on gaming.
Well, I don't know. You never know. You might still get one video that just goes viral, and then
possible.
Could help you.
It's possible. Let's see here in the chats. Scozy and Kat were talking a little bit about Hull video. Corolla says that she watches smaller YouTubes mostly because they tend to have a nicer and more interactable comment section. Yeah. Smaller YouTube is where you're going to find that.
Yeah. Which is kind of why I like the whole Nerd Fighter based video idea, because people are a lot more receptive to open discussion rather than flame wars, which tends to happen in a lot of comment sections of larger YouTubers. So,
I totally agree. But I think that in huge part, that's YouTube's responsibility. YouTube as an organization should be on top of making comment spaces safer. And I was told, I can't go into details, but I was told at the YouTube Creator Day, Washington, D.C. that I attended a week or so ago, I was told that they are working on making comment spaces like noticeably safer, like significantly safer for people from the trolls. They're like actively trying to fight the trolls. But I was given no information about how or when that'll happen. So great. Thank you. But yes, certainly in the smaller YouTube arena, that's going to be something that's it's a lot more likely to find a safer space. But then I think that behind YouTube's responsibility, it's also the channel owner's responsibility for not just washing their hands in the comment section, but actually getting in there and ejecting the trolls.
It is, and obviously the bigger you get, the harder that becomes.
Absolutely.
Because obviously 20,000 comments on a video, you're not going to have time to go through all 20,000 to make sure they're all friendly.
It's true. One of the things that I have seen YouTube do, and I'm pretty happy about, is that if you're a larger YouTuber, you can allocate moderation control over comments to other people. So potentially a big YouTuber could have a moderation team, a bunch of people who go into the comments and clean it up. Does that happen? I don't know. I really don't know who makes use of that, but it does exist as a functionality, and hopefully more people will use it as the time goes on.
Right, I did not even know that.
Yeah,
I thought the extent of it was channel managers and that was it. But
no, comment management is a thing as of 2015. Not everybody has it.
Right.
Like, I don't think any smaller YouTube channels have it. But I think if you've got 100,000 subscribers or more, you have access to appointing someone to be the moderator of your comments. One of the reasons I know about that is because they extend that ability to these live shows. So anybody who does a live show can say that somebody can moderate the comments of the live show. Like I could go into the comments right now and I could appoint somebody as being a moderator in the chats. I don't, because I only get a maximum of like 10 viewers at a time. I can handle moderating the chats myself. It's okay. But if I had 100 viewers at a time, I might take advantage of that function and give somebody else. Maybe I give like Corolla the ability to eject somebody for being a troll.
No. she'll eject me, basically.
Well, you're the co-host here, so you're safe for the moment.
Yeah, for the moment. Next time I turn up, she'll be like, "Oh, it's Dave Kick."
Possible.
Yeah.
Matt points out that Veta is a YouTube watcher's nightmare. Yes, it is hard to keep up if you subscribe to a lot of people who decided to do Veta all at the same time. Woo.
Yeah, I've done Vita or Veta, however you want to say it, let's say about 2 or 3 times, and it's progressively gotten harder. I think the first time I did it, I had a holiday to America during the period, and I still managed to upload every day. I was quite impressed with myself. And then the second time I did it, I found it really hard to make videos because you just run out of things to talk about really quickly. At least I did.
Maybe it's just because I'm very opinionated, but I have never had a situation where I've run out of things to talk about.
Right. Okay, that doesn't surprise me.
I'm very opinionated. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, well, that's considering I haven't known you that long, and I'm really not surprised. So, way to be consistent.
Thank you. I stay on brand. Star Pasta says that Vlogbrothers comment sections are generally good, but there was a time when some people were very mean to me, and that sucked. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well within like NerdFightera, particularly Vlogbrother videos. You get these die-hard Hank and John fans who, as soon as you say something that contradicts the message of the video, that's it. You need to run, because the only way I can describe it is fangirl.
Yeah,
you know, the traditional idea of a fangirl ruining everything because they're overly everything.
I mean, I don't know if this is how it is in Vlogbrothers, but so on other YouTube channels, I would call that an army. I would call that an army that rises up and attacks you because they are like on the side of the creator of that video, and it is ugly. I've fortunately never been the target of one, but I've seen it go down, and I've jumped in to mark people as spamming or harassing others, and I don't know how much good that does, but I try to do that.
Yeah, I think PewDiePie actually is a very good example of that, of how hardcore some of his fan base are, and by hardcore I mean plain old scary. Well,
that's what I mean, and I think he turned off his channels in part because of that. I mean, also in part because just the volume of he turned off comments on his videos because of that.
Yes. Yeah,
and I think that's in part because of that, because of the spammy, harassment nature of the comments, but also just because there are so many. There are just so many comments that there was no point in him trying to keep up with them anymore.
Yeah, I think I think a team of 20 people, it'd still take them a week to sort through the comments, because he's a very rare individual where he can have a video that is 2 years old and it'll still get new, I don't know, maybe 200 comments a day. It was just absolutely insane.
I mean, I'm delighted if I get 10 comments in a day, so that's a heck of a thing to hear.
I'm delighted if I get 2 comments, not off Corolla, by the way, because she comments on everything ever.
Yes, Corolla is a good, loyal commenter. I appreciate Corolla's comments a lot.
She is. I mean, I really do get surprised and quite happy when I find a YouTuber that Corolla doesn't know. That happens. Like, obviously, it's once a blue moon. I can think, aha, someone new, someone exciting, type a comment, and I realize Corolla commented like 5 days before. So it's very depressing.
She's like a YouTube frontiers person, always out there finding new people,
throwing cookies at people,
and offering them cookies. Matt Palka brings up Blab. So Blab is this video platform where you can do stuff like this live show, with up to 4 participants, I believe, up to 4 participants simultaneously, and the commenting structure is a little bit cleaner and friendlier, and the comments are saved after the video is over. I'm going to try out doing a Blab session with Matt Palka when we do our live show together. So our live show is actually not going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on Blab, and then I'm going to export it into YouTube afterwards. It's going to be an experiment, and it'll be, I think, I think it's the Sunday after Christmas is my live show with Matt Palka on Blab. You heard it here first, folks. That's when it's going to happen.
That's a world exclusive. I'm very happy I was part of that.
Yeah.
I think
so I'm going to try it out. We'll see what it's like.
Yeah, maybe try it with several people. I mean, obviously try the one-on-one first, and if it works, you can maybe bring more guests in. I know, as you've said before, getting more people in tends to be a bit harder to keep things on track, but I think Matt Palka would do well with someone who isn't me.
Well, the only reason why I really restrict my live shows to just myself and a co-host is not because I have difficulty managing the conversation. It's because the technology usually can't keep up with us. Like when I tried to do the 10-person live show for back in March for my anniversary, my computer could handle it, but many people who joined in, their computers couldn't handle it, and everything would slow down and people would drop out and it was choppy. It was just a difficult time. It's hard, but Blab seems to have a much lower bandwidth threshold for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, because it still seems to be a pretty high quality video. So we'll see how that works out. And if it works out, maybe I'll have 4-person live shows occasionally. We'll see what happens.
That would be hectic, but that would be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah. Lunch Club, the Lunch Club collab channel, they just celebrated I think their 200th video, I think. And they did a 6-person live stream to celebrate it, and it was very cool. It's very cool.
6 to me, that just sounds nightmarish, but I guess maybe if they're all into the same things, and obviously Special Lunch collab are pretty damn good anyway. They're another community driven channel, so
yes,
it could work.
Very much.
Can't see NFI working the same way though. There's too many. And I don't mean the fact there's 50 people on it. I'm thinking more along the lines of just there's some very different people. Like if me and Corolla get in the same thing, we'll just be trading shots for 2 hours. So
yeah,
doesn't make for good conversation.
Yeah, I figured that you and I could have a conversation that was able to progress a little bit more, because you might be sarcastic, but I tend to be fairly straightforward. So the interplay keeps moving. It doesn't get stuck on a back and forth of insults. Josh, 24 hours a year, says that he's never successfully done a vlog everyday project to the end. Maybe this year he'll do Vlogmas. I have done a couple of Vedas myself, and a couple of vlog every day in whatever month myself, just like you, Dave. And then I started a tradition last December that I'm going to be doing again this December. Oh my God, it just like 2 days. In 2 days, I'll be starting it up, which is my Letters to Santa series. And that's a video every day up until Christmas of a letter to Santa type video. I've got all my footage and my script for the first couple written up, so I just need to finish them up today. I need to finish them up today so they're ready for Tuesday and Wednesday. Yikes. It's happening so soon.
Yeah, that Vlogmas scares me. I'm fine doing Vita, because obviously vlog every day in April or vlog every day in August. That's not too bad. It's the height of summer. People have got time, but Christmas? Ouch. I commend anyone who can do it.
As it is, I'm already afraid that I have overbooked myself for this Christmas season. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see what happens, though.
Yeah, you could cheat like I did during one Vita, where I had a couple of days where I couldn't upload. So I just got someone else to make a video and stuck a 10-second clip of me at the beginning. That technically works. I was still vlogging on the day.
Sure, that works. Matt has given me some technical information about how to blab and YouTube at the same time. Yes, I did see Hank's experimentation with open broadcast system for P4A. I haven't the time. I'm sorry. I haven't the time to experiment with this and see what's going on. I think I'll just do Blab by itself with you, Matt, and then I'll export the results to YouTube afterwards. I think that's what I'll do.
Yeah, it's probably a wiser solution towards the beginning.
Kat apparently caught my live show for my anniversary. I know that, actually. I know that you caught my live show for my anniversary, and said that it was hilarious. There was hilarity there. Who do we keep losing? Emily? Yes. One of the Emilys, Emily Eaton, kept on being cut out from the live show. Oh, rough.
Rough and yet completely believable, knowing Google+.
Yes. Goodness.
Sorry.
All right.
Still one of my favorite songs.
I'm sorry, what's that, Dave?
No, I say one of my favorite songs of all time is that "FU Google Plus"
from Emma Blackberry.
Went absolutely crazy on the internet.
Yes,
still stuck in my head even now.
I was waiting for Emma Blackberry to make some sort of goodbye Google Plus song once they announced that it was no longer necessary to comment on YouTube. Never happened, but she's very busy doing lots of other things.
Yeah. Well, you should make one. That'd be interesting.
I'm working on my own music video, as you well know, for Christmas. So I'm going to do that first, and we'll think about other things afterwards.
Yeah, That's actually a really cool thing for December as well. The last 3-4 years, I've tried to get involved in some kind of project over Christmas. It's good to do. Just if you can't vlog that much yourself, it's good to get involved in a project. Just widen your social circle a little bit, or just know Corolla. One of the two.
I mean, knowing Corolla is like widening your social circle. It's the same thing.
I can ask her if she knows somebody who fits a particular set of characteristics or skills, and she'll give me a list.
Yes, it's very impressive.
Yeah.
So we caught up with the chats. Pretty much. Good.
Yep. Emma Blackery again. Blah 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 blah. So you should probably talk more about your actual project anyway. Just try and get it out there a bit more. Encourage more people to get involved.
I don't need any more people to be involved.
You don't?
At this point, no. Because I've got 12 people who've said that they want to get involved with Letters to Santa, which means that if they all submitted videos and they're all usable for me on my channel, I only have to vlog. I only have to do a vlog essentially every other day. Great. That's easy. I can handle that.
Manageable.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm a little bit afraid that if more than 50% of the Letters to Santa are not from me, then it'll stop being my thing. And I kind of want it to be my thing. It's a little selfish of me, but I'm like, it's mine. It's mine.
Yeah. You know what? Take it from me. You just have to let go eventually.
This is not NFI.
I wasn't talking. Yeah, I was talking about that. You can't help it. Just don't let Pat get involved. That's all I'm telling you, and you'll be fine.
So you had said at the beginning of this that you were looking at maybe spending an hour on the live show. We've actually already been talking for an hour and 15 minutes ish. As I told you, the time just flies by.
It does. I didn't even realize. I thought it was about 8:30. So it shows what I know.
Yep. But I'm happy to keep on going because we haven't really talked about you very much yet.
No, I'm happy to. I've still got another half an hour.
Am I allowed to ask you what you do for your day job?
Yeah, it's nothing interesting. I'm just a supervisor at a large supermarket chain. It's nothing.
Is it Asda? Amazing. Is that why you hate them so much?
Nope. It's Asda's one of Asda's biggest rivals, actually.
Okay, that's fine.
Not the reason why I hate them. It's just an extra reason.
I mean, just the fact that they are a subsidiary company of Walmart is good enough reason to not be a fan of Asda. I myself dislike them. I didn't dislike them yesterday, but now that I know that, I'm anti-Asda. Just
by association.
Absolutely.
I can't really blame you. Yeah, no, my job doesn't even lend itself very well to vlogging whatsoever. I think the one time I've tied them together is when I did a short vlog from inside a freezer. I don't know why. I was just in a large walk-in freezer and thought, why not get my phone out and record a vlog while I was in there with a mop on my head.
Wait, really? Is that video still online?
It is. I'll have to find it first.
We're also joined in the chat by Barefoot Vlogs. Hi, Barefoot Vlogs. I think your name is Hannah. Hannah. Welcome.
Hi, welcome. Just talking about mops.
Was that video on your channel or on NFI?
I'm starting to think I can't remember. It was one of the two. It sounds bad, but I think both channels kind of blend into one when I think about making videos because they're just kind of the same type of content. So I'm going to rack my brain and try and remember where it was.
You do that. I'm going to let people know that we are still going on. Boom. Do you find that there are any sort of like weird social things that make it difficult for you to understand stuff that people are talking about from other countries, like from the US or from Germany or from Australia?
Not massively, to be honest, apart from like the big culture thing. Like up until this year, I didn't even understand properly what Thanksgiving was all in aid of until I saw a fair few videos talking about how it's not what we think it is. Something to do a lot of the things that Thanksgiving is famous for is not true. But beyond that, I couldn't really say anything.
Wait, so what did you think US Thanksgiving was about?
Well, over here, the general consensus is that Thanksgiving is when pilgrims sat down to eat with the natives.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's what
apparently,
a lot of people in the United States think as well.
yeah, and apparently it's not true. So I give up trying to understand anything anymore.
It gets really weird when the false things that we are taught about our history are conflated with the realities of our history for somebody who is not a part of our society at all. Like you're as an outsider seeing what happens in the United States, you have to kind of try to sift through what is just the bullshit that we tell ourselves from the reality of what's going on in the United States. If I were, and I'm definitely not, but if I were a Donald Trump supporter, and you saw the things that I would tweet about or make videos about, you would have a very erroneous view of the United States reality. It would not be true at all, but I would be saying it very sincerely. Thankfully,
right.
I'm not.
I hope not. Yeah. Right, because actually, that's the thing I don't quite get. How Donald Trump seems to be, at least from our media's point of view, he seems to be a front runner for the actual candidacy for president. How true is that? Because if it's true, then we're all doomed.
Well, it's a weird thing to think about because it's based on polls. It's based on polls, so you have to take into account who's being polled, how honest are they being, and how good of a sample representation of the United States is that. If you were to go to the Fox News watchers of the United States and ask them, of all the Republican conservative candidates, who would you be most likely to vote for? Most of them will probably say Trump. Absolutely. Yeah. And it is terrifying, but they are the sort of people who enjoy watching US Fox News, which is pretty similar to the UK Fox News, AKA horrible, just awful. So yes, among that population, it's a possibility. There are less extreme conservatives in the United States who find Donald Trump as horrendous as I do, who would much rather vote for a calmer conservative candidate like a Ted Cruz or a Marco Rubio. They'd be much more interested in one of those less extreme candidates. But they don't seem to be the people who are being polled. I don't know why. I don't know if that just means that most of the conservatives are very extreme, or if the moderate conservatives are just not being asked these questions. I don't know. I'm not really sure the answer. It is frightening for me as somebody who's not conservative. As somebody who's not conservative, pretty much any prospect is terrifying, but none more so than the two frontrunners, Donald Trump and Ben Carson. Just the worst possible people for the office are the ones who are getting the most the most traction in polls, and it's scary as somebody living in this country.
It is. I mean, from an outside observer, it looks like you're taking a step backwards. But I don't know, because obviously Obama's not quite the revolution people thought he would be. Well, at least that's the opinion we get over here, anyway. Mm-hmm. I don't know how true that is.
I mean, there are many very vocally liberal people who are disappointed in Obama for not keeping true to 100% of his campaign promises when he ran for president. He was pretty vocal about wanting to shut down Guantanamo Bay. Didn't happen.
No.
The reason why it didn't happen, there are probably some decent presidential reasons. There may be some really bad presidential reasons with which I disagree. I don't know all the details because I'm not privy to everything that the president learns. But yeah, it's he hasn't fulfilled all of his promises. But I do think, even as somebody who was kind of nervous about Barack Obama for his first term, I have been more happy than unhappy with the stuff that he has done. So it's all right. I'm pretty afraid. For what our next president will be, for who that will be. Barefoot Vlogs Hannah said, thank goodness it was Hannah, says that she's a Republican, but there is no possible way I think Trump is a good candidate. Whew! I was correct. There are reasonable Republicans who do not want to get Trump up there as a candidate. Yes.
No, I mean, to be honest, I didn't think he was as bad as the media was portraying him to be. There was all these comments about how he'd said I hate to quote this, but how all Mexicans are rapists or something completely.
Yes. He actually
said that.
I mean, He didn't literally use those words, but he almost literally used those words. He did say that some of them are rapists and some of them aren't rapists. That was kind of how he put it. It's horrible. Like the fact that a presidential candidate could even think of saying something like that. Terrible.
Yeah, I suppose that's why he appeals to a lot of people, that he isn't pulling punches and he's saying what he really is. A shame that what he thinks is complete garbage. So,
I mean, yes, but
I guess
the people who are glad that he is not pulling punches are also awful people.
Yes, I kind of got that image. Just because he's good in business doesn't mean he's going to be good in the White House at all.
I mean, maybe I would also be good in business if I started off with $1 million loan from my dad. I don't know. My dad never gave me $1 million.
Well, that's quite political.
Josh says, 24 hours a year says, how is it that I wasn't aware of NFI? A quick scroll through the channel's videos, and I'm seeing videos from faces that I haven't seen in years. Well, Josh, I'm glad that you discovered NFI channel and subscribed to them. You'll also occasionally see this guy, Dave, on there once in a while.
Yeah, and you also see this other person here.
Occasionally.
Probably more than me, actually.
Mostly you'll see Corolla. You'll mostly see Corolla.
Yes, just like everywhere else.
Exactly.
But I think I do remember Josh from either a year or two ago. He had some interactions with, I believe, an old vlogger called Chelsea, I think. I could be thinking wrong, but let me know if you know that name, Josh, or whether I'm just getting confused in my old man memories.
I discovered Josh through a booktuber / social issues vlogger named Bookish Bunny Hopkins. She actually did a live stream with Joshua because he was trying to accumulate 24 hours of footage on his YouTube channel within 1 year, hence his name, 24 hours a year. And that is a lot harder than it sounds. Like I didn't really think anything of it first, but man, 24 hours of footage for YouTube is really hard to accumulate.
Yeah, I'm sure we don't get on NFI, and we've got people vlogging different every day. So
yeah. Let's see here in the comments. Matt asks, "Does anyone know of the stripped down challenge on YouTube?" If I find it neat, finding a YouTuber through a 10-minute one take unedited video versus their normal content. I mean, I've done one take videos. I've done no edit videos. I usually try to keep them shorter than 10 minutes. I think I've gone for like 5 minutes because I realized that I just talk so much.
Yeah, editing's a beautiful thing.
Editing is so helpful. If I could just edit what I say and do in my real life, that would be really beneficial.
Yeah, I'll fix it in post. It'll be fine.
Okay, I'm gonna leave you to respond to the chats for a second. I'm gonna run. I muted too soon. I'm gonna run off to the bathroom and then I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh God, he's leaving me to be insane. Okay. Yeah, actually, Matt, if you hear this, didn't you actually do that challenge yourself? I seem to remember someone from NFI did it, and it was quite entertaining, which for you is a novelty, but anyway. Eyes Like a Cat says, my first video in 2010 were 15-minute long, rambly, laggy webcam videos. Nothing wrong with that. Let's face it, we all have to start somewhere. And mine, I've actually linked my first ever video a few times in NFI videos, and it was filmed on a digital camera inside a very, very dark room. And the lighting was that bad, I had to knock it down to monochrome when I edited it, and it was not good. So don't worry about your starts on YouTube. They're always terrible. Except mine continues to be terrible. Anyway, I have no idea of its origin. Oh, fantastic. Big Instagram and a big hullabaloo, she was quitting a huge video. Right, I did not know that. That's going to take some research to find out, I think. And, oh, Paul is back. Fantastic. I didn't want to be interesting. Thank God you're back. I can stop trying to be a people person now.
What did I miss?
Me just ranting about first YouTube videos.
Oh yeah.
Eyes Like a Cat said, my first video in 2010 were 15-minute long, rambly lag webcam videos. But I always say, don't regret your start on YouTube, no matter how low quality they may be. Because everyone has to start somewhere.
Absolutely. And I mean, we newbie YouTubers, we make a big part of the audience of YouTube.
We do. I don't know, because I don't know what sort of percentage of people make videos to watch videos. That'll be quite interesting to find out.
I mean, definitely, it's got to be a small percentage. If there are literally 1 billion YouTube users right now in the world, that's what I was told at the YouTube Creator Day in DC. 1 billion with a B. Those users are not all creators.
No. I mean, there's a point now where we've reached oversaturation already, so I think that would just kill any chance you have of making it big.
Yeah, another statistic they gave me at the Creator Day was that every minute, something like 300 hours of viewable content is uploaded to YouTube. So 1 minute
actually sounds familiar. Yeah,
300 hours of viewable content is uploaded on YouTube. It's there's a lot of content creators, but even so, that's still not 1 billion people uploading videos. If there were 1 billion people uploading videos, it'd be even more than that. So the proportion has to be low. Matt brought up the Asena O'Neil. Asena O'Neil had started this weird wave of responses on YouTube, and I was nervous at first because I was nervous that people were going to say things like, I don't know, like she's right, that social media is harmful. But in fact, almost every single response to her diatribe against social media and how social media is fake and wrong was that, yeah, it can be, but you don't have to live your life that way. You can still use social media and not, give in to the wrongness of it and the fakeness of it. You can be real on social media as well.
Of course you can. It's the same as anything. There's two sides to every story, so either use it for good or use it for bad. Absolutely. Or like large portion of YouTube do and just upload cat videos, but whatever.
So the strip down challenge was started by Jonah Green. Is that what you're saying, Matt Palka? Is Jonah Green related to the Vlog Brothers?
Is he the other secret brother? I don't know. How many do they have now?
I don't know.
No, I'm not familiar with Jonah Green.
Me
unsurprisingly.
neither. Although I do like to pretend that everyone with the last name of Green is related to the Vlog Brothers. So like Lacey Green is their cousin, and Dave Green is their secret brother, and Red Green is that Canadian weird comedian brother.
Weird and Canadian in the same sentence.
It may be redundant. Barefoot Vlog says, I'm glad that I'm starting to slowly find a community of small YouTubers that I can follow. It's definitely a positive thing for me. It's so true. Yeah. Like I find it weird that people enjoy YouTube and only follow big subscribed YouTubers. That is weird to me because I usually find it kind of like hollow and makes me feel like things are like I'm not seeing enough of reality if I'm just looking at Speaking of social media being fake, if I'm just watching big YouTubers, it feels like I'm just watching a fake part of YouTube rather than a real part of YouTube. Small YouTubers who just like sit in front of a camera and talk at the camera, this is where it's at. This is reality, people.
Present company included.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, I don't think you realize properly till you've had a situation where you actually get this small group of people around you, because not everyone has the luxury of creating these web of connections. Like, to reference NFI again, I've made a lot of friends through that, maybe about 150, which I still consider a small community, but I think it's amazing because you can know them all personally instead of just as a face on the screen. So yeah, that's your community in general.
It is a nice thing to meet these people in real life. Yeah, it's a good thing. Have you been to the conventions in the UK?
I've been to Summer in the City once, where I went this year with Spoo, strangely enough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was an experience. It was fantastic. I think daftest thing I took away from that is that Spoo speaks English really well, but randomly slips into German halfway through the conversation. So obviously, it just gets a bit hard to understand him. But apart from that, it was good. Plus, he's not here, so that's even better.
That's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
No.
Corolla says in the comments, there are a bunch of big channels which make really good content. Not that there aren't smaller channels like that, but there's also channels that aren't about personality. So the fakeness of those big channels is a bit unimportant. And that's true. I mean, I don't, it doesn't matter to me how much of a real personality like Red and Link are showing off. They could be 100% acting, and that could not be their personalities. That's fine. They're mostly about, being that talk show. I don't care if they're fake, but or the example that you give, CGP Gray's personality doesn't matter what CGP Gray's personality is. It's about the content that they're making. I get that. I totally get that. I'm just saying that if that's all you're watching, then it just feels like you're watching TV talk shows, which are fine. There's a place that's fine, but YouTube makes available to us a different type of media. This media of actual people saying what's actually on their minds, expressing their actual personality to all of us who choose to watch them. That's something that you can't easily get anywhere else, like on TVs and movies and radio shows and whatnot. You can get it on YouTube. So if you can get it there, and the stuff that's available on TV, you can get on TV. Why not try using YouTube for something that is uniquely available here? That's my approach.
I mean, I can get it as well. Like, some people use it for escapism, generally. Like you say, you can watch TV for that, but some things are only available on YouTube anyway. So I can respect people for watching that content, but it's kind of, you should get some kind of nice middle ground, because YouTube offers so many different personalities and things. I think you're just doing a disservice to the site and yourself to not sort of explore it a bit more. But.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't watch big YouTubers. Matt Palka brings up PBS Idea Channel. PBS Idea Channel has hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but I still tune in to every one of the videos, and I watch Mike Rignetta, and it's entertaining and educational, and I enjoy it immensely. I'm just saying that there are some people who only watch big YouTubers, like PBS Idea Channel, even with hundreds of thousands of subscribers, they aren't that big. Like, big YouTubers are the ones who have millions, plural, subscribers. That is big these days. It's a weird concept that that's the case, but it is.
It is. I mean, the site itself has evolved a lot, but the entertainment factor has always been there. But it's just that a few years ago, 1 million subscribers was like the ultimate unattainable goal. And now for a lot of people, it's just a drop in the ocean. It's strange how big YouTube has become. Like, when I started 7 years ago watching YouTube videos, I didn't even imagine that just be this scale it is now. No, I'm not thankful for that, mind you, because it's changed a lot. So.
Apparently, Corolla isn't going to be able to hear my responses to her comments because she just tweeted that her internet is down. Oops.
Oh.
Oops.
I did not read that. Oh yeah,
it was on Twitter. It was on Twitter.
Yeah.
So you've been to Summer City, and you learned that Spoo occasionally drops German into his English. How was the rest of Summer in the City besides Spoo? They have a smaller channels panel or a little YouTube panel at Summer in the City, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's just the smaller channels.
Smaller channels, okay.
It's kind of the same thing as I do at VidCon. Yeah. Well, Summer in the City this year is like the biggest it's ever been. It was in quite a massive convention. But there was a bit of footage I used for one of the videos that I'd made while I was there. And it's now full of fans. Like, a lot of people aren't there to learn about content on YouTube. They're just there to meet the YouTubers. And I don't know how VidCon is like that. I'm guessing a lot of people go just for the same thing. But there was only a small percentage of people there that wanted to learn about YouTube and the statistics and everything. So...
well, yes, VidCon this year, it was around 20,000 people, and Hank Green has said that they're capping it at that, so it's not going to get any bigger than that. Although that's plenty big enough. But of those 20,000, more than half of them were in the community track of pass holders. So they were literally there just to be a part of the viewing community, as you point out, to see particular content creators, to see personalities, maybe to watch them on panels or to get photos with them or get signatures from them or what have you. They're there for the people of YouTube, and not because they were interested themselves in although it's called a community pass, they didn't really seem to be interested in building a community. They just they were just a part of the community, and they wanted to watch what was going on. There was a new track introduced this year called the Creator Track, and that's what I got a pass for. And it was for people who make videos, who want to be a part of the community, but who also want to, be involved with other YouTube creators, and learn about things that YouTube creators are concerned about. I really enjoyed it. I liked a lot of the panels that I attended. I think I liked almost all the panels that I attended. And because of the separation between the community track and the creator track, the screaming fans type of attendees were mostly not in the same place as I was. I was on the third floor with the rest of the creators, and all the screaming people were generally on the first floor or the signing area. Yeah,
good, because that's definitely what I'm aiming to do. But that's what I did get anyway, the middle track, which was creator.
Great, good, yes. Eyes Like a Cat asks if the community passes are cheaper. They are cheaper. I think the community passes are around $100, and I feel like the creator pass is around 150, 175.
It's currently 175.
175. And then there's also an industry track above that, which is like $500, it's so expensive. I mean, I understand that you have access to, I don't know, you have access to lots of information that basically makes it easier for you to learn how to make your YouTube career profitable and expand it and make connections in the industry. That's why there is an industry pass. But dang, it is so expensive. I can't imagine getting it.
Yeah, I get it. To be honest, I looked into it at first and I was shocked by the price tag is 500, then it goes up to 675 and then 725, something like that.
Holy moly.
Yeah, so I thought, creator will do me just fine. Because I think my main goal of VidCon is to meet as many NFI people as possible. That's generally what my main goal of going across is. So, because I was really jealous. There was a group picture of quite a few people last year. I was thinking, great, I helped make that happen, but I wasn't there. So I'm still jealous to this day.
So you're going to VidCon to be a part of the NFI group photo?
Yeah, essentially.
That's fine. I mean, heck, you're going to be connecting with people who are from your channel. That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think it makes sense, really.
Let's see here. Matt Palka says that it took his brother 40 minutes to get the community pass when he was going to get the pass, and it took Matt only 2 minutes to get his creator pass. Yep, that tells you the difference in the crowds. Tells you the difference in the crowds. Josh says he's been doing a bit of research and worked out that the Chelsea that Dave remembers me from is from a bad video response to a Chelsea Dearner video. He did it without rewatching. One of his worst YouTube mistakes.
Yeah, I remember the discussion about that was interesting. Not negative, just interesting. That must be a year and a half ago.
I guess I'm not familiar with Chelsea Dearner, and I didn't see that video because that was before I connected to Josh. But that's what happens, according to Josh, when you've been on YouTube for like 6 years.
Yeah, you just tend to forget things.
I mean, just so much happens. Even in this year, in 2015, I keep on. I'm trying to review my year in order to like write Christmas cards and come up with things I want to say on my letter to Santa. And as I'm reviewing this year, I keep on finding things that I thought happened 2 years ago, but they didn't. They happened this year. Just so much has happened this year. It's a little bit overwhelming. My memories get all messed up.
Wow, I'm quite surprised. This year has been relatively quiet for me compared to last year. Apart from Summer in the City, obviously.
I mean, to be fair, I really did I really worked at being very active on YouTube and connecting with people, and like these live shows is a thing of 2015. I never did these live shows before this year. So yeah, it's been a big part of my year too. I've done like 20 of these, something like that. I've done many of these, many.
Ouch. Well, I'm honored to be on it. Then
I'm happy to have you here. Star Pasta says, I would totally be in the community track because I love YouTubers so much. I don't know if I would ever necessarily want to make videos. I go back and forth. That's not bad, right? It's fine. No. It is fine to just be a watcher of YouTube. There's nothing wrong with that. And as I said earlier, the viewers of YouTube make up a big part of this community. And I wouldn't be able to engage with as many people if it were not for the viewers and subscribers. Just don't be one of those people who is heedless of safety and privacy and runs screaming after the people that you like. Just don't be one of those people, and you're fine. And it's fine. Just calmly wait in line to meet them. When you meet them, treat them like human beings. As long as you're doing that, you can be in the community pass or the fan pass or whatever pass you want to call it, as long as you like. And I'm happy for you. That's great.
Yeah, I think the problem is the community get marginalized as a bunch of screaming fans, but there are some genuinely sort of enthusiastic people who either can't afford the higher up prices, because I know, like you say, going up to 175 and 500 is quite a hike.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know what I was going to say. I know what I was going to say. Yeah, the screaming fans part of the community level or the fan pass level of events, they are not the majority, but because they are loud and screaming and dangerous, they get a lot of attention. Yes. They get a lot of attention. Now, they're the ones that, the various media magazines that report about YouTube events, they'll pay attention to the screaming fans because it's hard to miss them.
Pretty much.
We're also joined in the chat by Renee Borkus, who says that YouTube wouldn't be YouTube without the community.
Without the community.
I agree.
Very true.
And hi, Renee. Let's see here. Andre of Black Nerd Comedy made an awesome video about that called Con Creepers. And it's hilarious. I believe it. Yeah, Andre's cool. Matt Palka says, I met so many people through your YouTube anniversary, Paul. Oh, I'm glad, Matt.
Who's Paul again?
That's me. That's this guy who's talking over here.
Yeah, sorry.
A big thing for me on YouTube is not only to espouse my own views, and hopefully I can say things that other people think and feel but aren't sure how to express. I mean, that's like a big part of why I try to make the videos about social issues that I do, is to try to form some words for people who may not be able to form them themselves. But part of that also, a result of that is that I also get introduced to a lot of people who share these same ideas. And then if I can connect some of these people with other people so that I can keep on growing this type of thinker, this type of person who is concerned about these things, I mean, that's the best. If I can connect people with each other so that they keep on expanding their own community of like-minded people, then I'm succeeding. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's pretty similar to what my goal was, and I sound a bit thin, but I think I've achieved mine already, which was creating some kind of community, which now continues to spiral out of my control now, I'll be completely honest with you. But it just connects so many people,
You made a monster.
Yeah, exactly, that I can't control. It's like Frankenstein's monster all over again.
So you're saying that NFI is the Frankenstein's monster, and you're actually Frankenstein.
That makes far too much sense.
Kat Young also made many friends after my massive live stream. I'm glad. I'm delighted for that. Hopefully people who are tuning into this will also go to check out NFI if they haven't checked that out already, and we'll meet even more YouTubers there. There are so many. There's so many.
So I say I lose count because Pat will just message me one day and go, "Oh, by the way, I found 47 new people to vlog on NFI, and their channels are this," and I don't know where she gets the enthusiasm from. It's a shame she couldn't be here tonight, actually, but she's otherwise engaged.
Well, I know where she gets some of the enthusiasm from. Some of the enthusiasm is pure youth. Pure youth.
Something we don't know anything about.
I don't know anything about youth anymore.
No. I'm surprised you brought up the old comment before I did, but Fair enough.
It's necessary. People need to know that I am very old, and I'm still doing YouTube stuff.
Good on you. I mean, I think you may be the oldest person we've ever had on the channel. Not that's saying much, but
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. At VidCon, aside from, I think there was like Mikola, Glozell, and parents of people were the only people who were older than me. That's it.
Wow, that's kind of respectable that you're keeping with it. You've got a passion for it.
I mean, I do. It's a weird thing that I have a bit of an immature personality. I have no interest in settling down. I don't want to buy a house. I don't want to get married. So my mindset is much more in the mindset of people who are in their early 30s, late 20s than most people who are in their 40s. And I don't see myself changing anytime soon. So until my body actually gives out, I'm going to keep on being like this.
That's not a bad thing.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
No, I thought I was far too immature for a 26-year-old, but it's just the way to be.
You're just a kid. You're just a kid still. You don't even know.
Nobody's ever said that to me before, but I'm quite pleased.
Eyes Like a Cat says John isn't that much younger than you. I think you're talking about John Green. Yeah, I think he's 36 or 37, something like that.
37, 38, something like that.
Something like that. Matt Palka refers to the dads of VidCon. I am not a dad. I am not a dad.
I like that.
Let's see here. One of the largest, very early YouTubers was Geriatric 1927. Okay, Geriatric 1927 has me beat. Okay, beat for age. They win.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about powerful videos, actually, Geriatric's last ever video is quite an eye-opener. If you haven't watched it, you should go and watch it. Just prepared for feels, because it does kind of happen.
I don't know if I'm ready for that today. At some point, I'll watch it. At some point.
Well, he made it when he was on his decline.
Yeah.
Let's say. And you can see sort of, if you watch some of his early videos to him in that video, there is a massive difference. And it's like he almost in the video he kind of accepts that he hasn't got long left. It's quite powerful.
Oof! Wow. I mean, to be honest, I don't know that if by the time I am in my decline, on my way out, if YouTube will still be a thing. I don't know, but I hope that there is some sort of social media platform where I can go and share some of myself and my thoughts with people who can tune in and check it out. As I go out, that would be nice. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Renee says that Zay Frank is 43. Zay Frank is 43. Okay. All right. I'll be in Zay Frank's category. I can dig that.
I thought he was older, to be honest.
I kind of figured that Zay Frank was the same age as the Vlogbrothers, so it's kind of nice to find out that he's older than I am. That's cool. Good. I'm glad.
Could be argued as one of the fathers of YouTube, like the original fathers.
Certainly of talking head vlogging. He is one of the fathers of this type of vlogging. Absolutely. And jump cuts.
Nothing wrong with a jump cut as long as it's placed well.
Here.
Zay Frank is boss. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
So you haven't been on YouTube for that long, but because of NFI, you've made lots of connections. Has there been something like surprising? Has there been a surprising connection that you made or a surprising thing that's happened to you on YouTube?
Yeah, surprising generally just how the whole thing panned out. The fact that I've spent physical time with people, like, in a real space that otherwise would just be a face on a screen. Like, I've traveled around with people off the channel. I've met them in America, and that's the biggest surprise to me, that it actually came full circle and I met them in person and became, I don't want to say IRL is greater than internet friends, because that's a whole different thing for another day. But that was definitely the most surprising. Not exactly unique, but the fact that you just meet someone through an email and before you know it, you're hanging around with them in a different country. Kind of big to me.
That is big. Yeah, that is big. Huh. Were there? I mean, my own thoughts on friendship online and offline have changed this year. They've developed some complexity. My thoughts on those this year. I will say that I think that online friendships are certainly just as real as offline friendships, but they are different, and that they are certain layers of a friendship that you can only add in once you have interacted with them offline, face to face, as it were. Because even with us vloggers who pretty much share parts of our real life and real personalities online, even with us, we still are only choosing to share certain portions of ourselves with the internet at large. When you meet face to face, when you're meeting in person, you're not really able to hide much of anything. It's you. That's who you are.
Exactly. Yeah, I've made videos on that exact topic before. That I mean, internet friendships are fine, but then it's once you're in the same space as people, you start to learn the quirks and the little things that make them tick, and that's when you know them on a whole different level.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we've lost Kat. Kat has to go write some business emails and actually concentrate. I don't envy you. Business horrible.
Yeah, I don't miss it either.
Renee says, meeting an internet friend for the first time in real life is such a strange feeling. The first time it happened to me was a total accident at a concert. Cool. I encountered some people like Lex Croucher. I met her for the first time while we were watching. I can't remember. I think maybe Julia Nunes, maybe Lauren Fairweather. We were watching somebody on the outdoor stage at VidCon. And actually, I didn't notice that she was there. I was kind of like entranced in whatever I was watching. And she said, "Hey, Paul." I turned around and there's Lex Croucher, this person who I've been watching on YouTube for a very long time, and I'm very much admiring of. And she recognized me. It was very cool.
Wow, that's kind of the power of VidCon, though, with so many people there. I don't know, 'cause I think I know about 25 people going this year, so that's going to be quite a busy couple of days.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you know more than me by now, but you've been in that position before, so you're probably a bit more used to it than me.
I've been twice to VidCon, and it was no less overwhelming the second time.
Right.
I was just as distraught and stressed and flipped out a little bit at being surrounded by so many people, and unsure of how I was supposed to act. Yeah, I'm hoping that third time's the charm, and maybe VidCon 2016, I can actually go in and have a calm time of it and actually enjoy myself.
That happens.
I don't know.
Yeah. It probably won't happen.
Damn it, Dave.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. Yeah, I can't help it. I mean, I'm genuinely looking forward to it. But again, it's kind of the community aspect, spending time with people. That tends to be the biggest reason I'm going.
It's cool.
Which is kind of the whole outlook on YouTube. So,
that's great. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to do a live show with you, is because I know how important community is to you here on YouTube. That's like it's our common factor, which is very cool. Of the people that you are going to be able to meet at VidCon, will there be people that you're meeting for the very first time, and who are they?
Pretty much I'm hoping to meet Pat there. Nerdy May, do you know that? Tyler May.
Tyler. Yeah.
Yep, of course. Declarations previously mentioned. Nathan and Rose probably run into you at some point, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Unless I can avoid you, but that's probably not happen.
It's really hard to avoid me.
Oh, good. No.
I'm everywhere at VidCon. You can't get rid of me.
Maybe I should get the industry pass just to
Okay, then you would be able to get rid of me. You could just go to the industry floor, and I wouldn't be able to get up there. There'd be security protecting you from me.
No, I think it'd take more than that.
Star Pasta says, I want to go to VidCon so freaking bad, but money though. Also, I live on the East Coast, so distance is a thing too. You know, I don't spend my money on a lot of stuff. I have a decent paying job, good insurance, good perks. I don't spend money on very many things. I could potentially pay for VidCon the whole trip on my own, it would be rough. I'd have to skimp and save a lot in order to do it, but I could do it. However, I've negotiated and I've been able to get kind of like a bonus package from my work, so that my boss will actually pay for my flight, my pass, and my hotel room to VidCon. And it's just because my company is loosely associated with the video production industry. That's it.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So it's kind of like my going is, it's not the same thing as a tax write-off, but it's a thing that's can be associated with my company. So I'm able to go to VidCon, and it's so much easier for me because my company is helping me out. If it weren't for that, I mean, I might only be able to go once every few years rather than every year as I've been doing. So I feel you, Star Pasta. I feel it. I understand.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm planning this year, but whether I can make it next year is something entirely different.
The fact that anybody can go multiple years in a row without having their job just give it to them, I don't know how people can afford it. It's so expensive.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think flights alone are £600 roughly.
Oh God, that's awful.
So, yeah, exactly, and it takes a good 19 hours, I think, to fly there.
Are you gonna spend more time in the United States before or after VidCon?
About a week, I think. So like a couple of days VidCon, couple of days return home.
Nice,
Just
good.
depends on what I can do in that time.
Sure. No, I'm glad though. I'm glad. I mean, I think that's what most people do if they're coming from far away, just because it's kind of a waste to just hop off the plane, run to the hotel/event, and then run from the hotel/event back to the plane afterwards. It's so exhausting, and you miss out on the rest of the country basically if you do that. So I'm glad that you're getting a couple of days in advance and after VidCon. That's good.
Yeah, I just need to look up ahead of time what I'm going to do. And I will say I'm not doing Disney Day though. Whereas Matt Parker just mentioned his. Yeah, yes. But
I have not yet made up my mind about Disney Day. I've enjoyed it every time I've gone. I've gone to Disney Day both times. And the first time I went to the California Adventure Park, and the second time I went to the Disneyland proper. And they were both fun, but I haven't been like swept up in the magic of it, I guess. It's a nice time. It's a nice time, and it's an expensive time. So it's hard for me to justify. But this coming year, they might have a lot of Star Wars stuff. And I'd be into that. Wow. I'd be that. The Star Wars stuff might get me to buy a Disney Day pass.
Yeah, that's more of a reason to keep me away. To be honest,
that's fine.
I think I'm the only person I know who doesn't like. Well, not liking is a strong term, but I just don't really get the whole thing about Star Wars. Maybe I'm just boring because I'm literally the only person I know.
I mean, I'm not up until this year. I haven't really been all that enthusiastic about Star Wars. I thought it was nice, but not that big of a deal. But all of this hype around The Force Awakens, like I am really excited to see that movie. And it has kind of stirred up a passion for Star Wars I didn't know that I had. So apparently I am a big Star Wars fan, and I just didn't realize it until this year.
To be honest, the build-up's been amazing. Even as a non-Star Wars fan, I can appreciate how they've done it.
Yeah.
They've managed to kick out. Go on, are you first?
Oh, I was going to say, it's turned me into a conscious Star Wars fan because I never really thought about it before. Oh,
that's
we're
great.
Also joined in the chat by Milo Stewart.
Milo Stewart.
Hooray. Hi, Milo. I'm glad you're able to make it in.
That's another name I don't know. Wow. And I'm not as connected as I thought.
Well, that's another reason for these live shows. I've got lots of reasons for these live shows, and one of them is to connect you to people who don't know you and vice versa. I know Milo from the LGBT plus community on YouTube, and he does some really cool videos about transgender issues. I learned some stuff. I've learned quite a bit of stuff from Milo's videos, which are also very entertaining. And also he dances around in his videos a lot, which I like, his dancing. So I'm glad he was able to tune in.
Dancing in videos. I've not got a good track record with that either.
I am better able to dance in videos than I am to dance offline. Like at VidCon prom, I do not do well. There's too many people around. I don't want to dance around all those people. But all by myself in my bedroom, I can do that.
That's perfectly acceptable. Just maybe not broadcast that around a lot.
I mean, it sounds weird to put it that way. In the context of YouTube vlogging, it's all right.
Yeah. Then again, nothing's really out of bounds when it comes to vlogging. So
it's true.
Unfortunately,
it's true. Barefoot Vlog says, I know Hank Green has addressed this before, but I wish that VidCon would switch coasts every year. You know, I understand that feeling because I am on the East Coast. It would make it easier, tons easier, if the VidCon were on the East Coast. But the East Coast does have playlists in Florida, and then usually a second playlist at some point in the Mid-Atlantic area. Like this year it was in DC, before it was in New Jersey. I think it's been in Pennsylvania before. So we've got playlists. It's not the same. It's not the same at all. It's definitely not, but it's something. And I don't know. I'm sure that logistically it would be a nightmare. I'm sure logistically it would be a nightmare to switch coasts for VidCon, even though tons of people would love it. I do not envy the Vlog Brothers or Hank Green in particular being in the position of trying to figure out how to expand VidCon in the future, because that's a rough question to tackle.
It is. I mean, I suppose he's lucky in that he doesn't do it himself as much anymore, because it's handled partly by an outside company, isn't it? So he's not having to arrange every single thing anymore. So I've read. Yeah. He's not in complete control of it anymore.
I mean, I know that he has lots of people on the VidCon staff who does work. Maybe what they're talking about is that the VidCon staff has become like an actual organizational thing instead of it just being Hank and some friends. Now that it's like an actual company is VidCon. But I'm not sure if I didn't realize there was a secondary one as well.
Yeah, I think so. There was something about it on the actual VidCon website.
Oh, okay.
So I'd look it up,
Milo,
but I'm risking bandwidth.
Okay.
So
yeah, and you don't want to do that. Although actually we'll probably be wrapping up shortly because it is the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, that's a lot longer than I intended, but let's go with it.
Milo in the chat says, I feel that, Paul. I can't dance IRL. It's good. It's not just me. Well, I love your dancing in your videos, Milo, so that's good enough.
I feel like I'm missing something here.
Oh, just check out Milo Stewart's channel on YouTube, and you will be filled in. Yeah. That's how it goes.
I'll do just that.
As we come to the end of our 2-hour mark here, are there any last remarks or any last thoughts that you'd like to share with our viewers, Dave?
Top of my head, not really. Just to be ultimately interesting. I think we've covered quite a lot tonight.
I think so too, and it's been great. It's been fun. I'm glad that you were able to join me for this. I was happy we were able to schedule this. Yeah,
thanks for hosting. I didn't think it was going to happen at one point, but obviously it's worked out well. So
yeah, really, really well. People who are watching, if you are not subscribed to NFI, you should check it out. The NerdFightersInfo channel is linked in the description of this live stream, and will also be there after the live stream's over. Oh, Asante comes in right at the end. Hi, Asante.
Oh, I was kind of thinking it was missing Asante, but no, damn.
Yeah. Do you have like I know that you don't post a lot of videos on your own channel, and NFI is obviously NFI, but do you have a regular sign off that you give, Dave?
Off the top of my head, no, beyond just see you next time, guys. See you later. That's literally just it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Branding either. No,
but I actually tried to think of something that I wanted to specifically say to everybody at the end of my videos, and that is always that tomorrow will be even better. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. It's been an honor.
I will see many of you, or you'll see me on Letters to Santa starting December 1st. It's so soon. Letters to Santa starting December 1st. Please tune in. Thank you all for having been here today, and goodbye.
See you later.